right away, the quest to find Splinter is sidetracked because the van April's driving happens to match a van full of criminals that the police are chasing. So the rest of the comic is just an arbitrary police chase. Issues 4 through 7 complete the story. Turns out Splinter was attacked by mousers. After fighting them off, he collapses and is found by scientists. He awakens in a hospital bed and discovers the scientists have brain creatures coming out of their bellies. So they're just brain aliens in disguise. I've read online that these creatures are not related to Krang, and they are called Utrons. But the comics I got here never say Utrons unless I totally missed it. It just calls them the aliens. Well, we already have a bunch of questions here, but the story gets even more insane when the Turtles are fighting a foot plane on a rooftop, and they notice a sign that says PRI. That happens to be the same name which was on the canister of ooze. In the second movie, they call it PGRI. I wonder why they had to change one letter. So the Turtles are now breaking into the building to solve the mystery of their origin, but they completely forgot to return the rest of the Splinter. Out of pure coincidence, it happens to be the same building where Splinter's being held captive. During a fight with the aliens, the Turtles accidentally hit some kind of translocation device and sent them to a distant planet. The whole story takes a 90-degree turn, and now the Turtles are helping a robot escape from authorities. The robot's referred to as a fugitoid because he's a robot fugitive, but his actual name is Honeycutt. He was once a scientist who was experimenting with a telekinesis device when he was struck by lightning, which somehow fused his mind into the robot. The human body died, so the authorities think the robot killed him, and that's why they're trying to catch him. Sounds pretty weird, right? To make things even more complicated, there's a race of Triceratops creatures called Triceratons who want to capture the robot themselves because they want its secrets. A bunch more madness happens, and then the Turtles fight the Triceratons in a gladiator-style tournament. Finally, they're transported back to Earth, but reunited with Splinter, and they make peace with the aliens. The aliens, or the PCRIs as they call them, tell a huge backstory about how they crash-landed on Earth, disguised themselves as humans, got jobs, built their own labs, and worked for years to create the translocation device so they can return to their home planet. They also confirm that they were responsible for the accident involving the ooze, but they never do explain what the purpose of the ooze is. And no, I don't think they ever call it mutagen. A SWAT team breaks into the lab, and in the nick of time, everybody jumps into the transporter, goes to their respective homes, and everything's fine. This completes the crazy Splinter alien story arc. It's definitely one hell of an adventure. Issue 8 is a self-contained story, and a very strange one involving time travel, and it's a crossover with the character of Cerebus the Aardvark. Issue 9 is when they start going by title.
I have that issue. It's the only issue I own.
That's cool.
A spiritual tale about a Japanese man who transfers his soul into Splinter through meditation in order to go resolve some family business in Splinter's body. It's a little bizarre. But
it's like the only crossover Cerebus ever did.
There's another story arc over 3 issues.
They were.
The first issue of the story,
Ninja Turtles and Cerebus were a big part of the comic books being popular in the early 80s.
I mean, I wonder if the writers were.
They were, for the same reason.
But it's very clear that issue number 10 picks up right from where it leaves off.
Cool.
Anyway, the 3 parts of the story are What Goes Around Comes Around, number 10, Silent Partner, and number 11, True Stories. This is where things start to get really good again. And a lot of the movie follows the story very closely. It's much more straightforward. There's no time traveling, planet hopping, or soul transfusions. It begins with Leonardo fighting the foot soldiers in the snow. Simple as that. While the Turtles and April are at home decorating the Christmas tree. Leonardo meets up with the Shredder. They never explain how he's come back. Leonardo's beaten senseless and crashes through the window. In the movie, they changed it to Raphael. Then, as Silent Partner begins, the foot soldiers break into the apartment, and a huge battle takes place. The battle moves to the lower level, which is an antique store. The Shredder's there waiting for them. Look at that. Is that a page, or is that a fucking page? It folds out, too. I hang this thing on my wall. Then Casey Jones barges in and joins the fight. They never stop to explain who he is. He just randomly shows up. The whole apartment catches fire, just like in the movie. The Turtles, April, and Casey escape and move to Casey's grandmother's house with the wounded Leonardo. True stories begin with April having a nightmare. It's some wild stuff. The rest of the story is told through April's journal, like in the movie where it's her voiceover. We have Casey and Don working on a truck while insulting each other.
You're the geek, Camel Bread. It's all red. Outlets.
Then there's the campfire conversation with Splinter. The only difference in the movie was that Splinter was there in spirit. There's no encounters with villains. It's just the Turtles living humbly, recuperating, and enjoying a little downtime from fighting the Foot Clan. I like it. There's something
The original comic books were actually
I think it was
good.
a pretty good
Like,
idea.
not cute or fun, actually
The only thing
good.
that's disappointing is that the story doesn't seem to have any kind of real ending. It just sort of stops. I don't know what happens next. Book 4 ends here, and I don't know if there's ever a fifth compilation. I don't think there is. From what I've gathered, the next story is something completely different anyway. I would like to continue reading Turtle comics, but they seem to be a little difficult to find, at least in some kind of chronological order that I can follow. If you're able to find these 4 books, I highly recommend them. If you're a TMNT fan, this is it. This is how it starts.
Oh, there's not many family has them. So it's a good thing a new air leak odor detector tested thousands of odors. And automatic.
Is that a new one?
That we just watched? That's brand new.
I didn't know he did comic books and stuff too.
He does Turtles.
Oh.
He doesn't do comic books, but he does anything Turtles.
There's a little pack there and a whole other pack.
What the hell is this? Well, again, he is 63 or something. Wow, I look that good. Now I don't put up.
What can I do?
I wonder how many times these girls hook up with all of these guys while they're...
I would imagine as much as you would expect, yeah. These are girls that weren't really popular in high school because they're so weird.
And all these guys weren't popular in high school because they were all weird. Perfect match.
Perfect match. Especially Luke, like she's even cute. But I bet she's fucking crazy.
Okay, talk, guys.
And crazy to the point where you'd think it'd be hot, but then you sit and talk to her and it's just fucking crazy. Let that girl know.
Oh, I think I know what I'm doing.
I'm not just talking about
Yeah, that girl. Chelsea.
Chelsea.